Okay. We are live. Let me say this on LinkedIn where I'm streaming. Thank you everybody for joining. I always keep saying, I see you as a number. I wish I knew who you were. So please add a comment or question or anything. Show some emoji, love. I want to see it. Okay. So hello everyone. I'm Sudha Jamte, and this is Sudha Live. And I want to keep your promise. I want to keep my promise to you and do the Sudha Live consistently at 6 p.m. here in Silicon Valley for on Fridays. There's a whole group of students who are just going to cross me. I'm here at San Jose State University at I think I'm in the broader university, but today I've been at Lucas School of Management here, visiting with the team of Ferrari executives who are visiting from Bologna University as part of our Silicon Valley International Week, 2 weeks program for them. And I did the last segment along with Emanuele Pianchini about nothing else other than autonomous vehicles. So let me show you a picture that I want to share of us. This is, you see this? So here is Emanuele and here's me. And here is Mahesh Rajan, Professor Mahesh Rajan, who invited us. Thank you, Mahesh, for putting this together and having us over. And a beautiful art of Mahatma Gandhi. And I also have another picture. Oh, there's another student going. So I also have another picture of, oh, this is the same picture. Sorry, guys. I have another picture of just Emanuele and me in front of Cesar Chavez. And this is beautiful. I just love the creative environment here. And it's like awesome. Okay, so it's end of the week and I had two exciting things. So the big thing today was the talk about autonomous vehicles. I'm not going to talk to you about autonomous vehicles, but what we covered was about how to digitize the car. And Emanuele spoke about the car as a IoT on wheels, about how he brings his engineering background and connects with AI and AV. And I spoke about software on wheels, and we said, okay, there are two different approaches on how you can digitize the car. So if you see me looking here and there, it just means I have people walking around. I'm kind of signaling them so they don't get into my frame here. Okay, so for those of you who are new to this is my happy hour with you, Sudha Live, and I stream this on LinkedIn and YouTube, and tell you about AI opportunities, Gen AI opportunities, what's happening, excited stuff in the world to unravel the world of AI with me here. And I usually go for an hour. I'm going to try and see if I can wrap it up sooner, unless you have an amazing set of questions that's going to keep me up here with you for longer. Google had their cloud conference, Google Next Cloud. Roxy Simpson attended it. She's an executive at FI, and she's crazy enough to join me once a year on IoT Women for IoT Days. So on Tuesday was April 9th, IoT Day, and I did this annual 24-hour live stream of all women speaker lineup. And it's the usual topics. You call for experts, whether they are women or whatever, it doesn't matter. You're going to hear about Gen AI and how they are using it in enterprise, how they are building it in data science, AI ethics of it. We had this usual topics. And then afternoon, we had Sneha Jadhav come in and do a session on data. And then that was mind-blowing because this was not a panel, but many different topics. So Sneha actually did a very interesting topic about how to triangulate data that we do all the time. So triangulation is like finding different ways of getting the same answer to see whether your hypothesis is correct about data, because data tells you many truths. And so she did, how did they do that in Silicon Valley in her job as product manager. That was a session did it. And then Joanne Horwath is one of my fellow LinkedIn Learning instructors, a math genius, and she came in and she has a LinkedIn course called Making Calculus. And she said, I'm going to talk about making math. And she does 3D printing too. And so I was like, what is making math? She's talking about making with 3D printing and the math. And turns out that she's actually talking about using 3D printed parts or Lego parts to actually teach math and calculus and algebra. It was mind blowing. So making math, making calculus is the name of our Joanne's course. So I'm going to put that in our link here. So those of you who are interested, if you want to go look at that, making calculus is the course. I will go find out, make calculus or making calculus. So the easiest way, if you hear about a LinkedIn teacher and you say, okay, I don't know them, I'm hearing about their courses, the easiest way is go to LinkedIn and search for that person. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to search for Joanne Horvath, Horvath. Let me show it to you. This is like feeding the fish. So you can do this for many others, right? So here is Joanne Horvath. I just said that in the LinkedIn search and it found her. Before I go into her profile, it says, is it post, people, companies, blah, 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 blah. And then it says courses. So when I do that, it shows me all of Joanne's courses, right? That's how it is. And assembling calculus. It's not making calculus. I think she has many books. Make Calculus is her book. Apologies. The real course is about assembling calculus.
Authors of various LinkedIn Learning additive manufacturing courses.
And if you could
Let me go back to the.
What if calculus was seen as fun instead of scary? And if you could learn the core concepts by playing with toys and 3D prints instead of leaping right into equations.
This course will let you do just that by taking you through some of the basics with conceptual models. Then we'll look at how those models correspond to core fundamental equations in calculus.
Unbelievable, guys. You have to do this. Check this out. Thank you, Joanne, for finding the time to join this. So this was all part of LinkedIn, not LinkedIn, part of this IoT Women, the event that we host once a year on April 9. So let me go back to where you can find it. So if you go to my YouTube, there are multiple playlists for Weekly Wednesday. For Sudha Live is also all our Sudha Lives are also on a playlist. You will find the playlist for IoT Women. So everything that I share here is going to be on my newsletter. I'll share that in a minute. But here is an example of a recorded session we got from Helena Nugatu. And she is a researcher, PhD researcher at UC Berkeley, but she also is from Ethiopia. So we set all the recordings to stream at 9 a.m. at the speaker's home country. So this is Ethiopian 11 o'clock. My time was Ethiopian 9 a.m. the previous night. So it's streamed. So there's a bunch of streaming sessions that you must have missed even if you attended the live. Okay. So let's hear from Helena.
And today I'm going to talk about how we could use HCI to inform technological design for low-resource languages. So I'll start with a bit of introduction about myself. I am a third-year PhD student at UC Berkeley in computer science. I received my bachelor's degree in electrical and computer engineering from Addis Ababa Institute of Technology, and I specialized in communications engineering. I got my master's degree in computer science from UC Berkeley, as prior to starting my PhD, I had a research experience in computer architecture and hardware security, and I also did a little bit of data science for healthcare. And when I started my PhD, in my first year, I focused on projects that spanned human-computer interaction, natural language processing, and a bit of image processing. And starting in my second year, I focused more specifically on low-resource language NLP with a bit of ethics and fairness background. So I will start with some definitions that will allow us to think about the concepts that I'll talk about in this presentation. First, let's define what HCI is. A lot of people define HCI in a lot of different ways, but my favorite perhaps is from this book that defines HCI as the intersection between social and behavioral sciences and computer and information technology. So any research that studies how humans interact with computers and technology more generally and uses social and behavioral sciences to do that, that research or that investigation can be considered as HCI.
Okay, so I'm going to stop here, but this whole playlist on my YouTube has everybody. We had Madison Jaffe, who is also my colleague and staff at LinkedIn Learning I worked with, talk about well-being and positive psychology in the workspace. It's actually very interesting to think holistically about your life. I love that. There's a whole bunch of women from Latin America who just, were so amazing. I did not know what they were doing in this legal space and regulation space, thinking holistically, working with 80 different countries. I'm going to bring some of them back because they spoke live, they did some recording, but they also are going to come back to Weekly Wednesday. And I want them to connect with the rest of the regulators, AI ethicists in Europe and US that I know of. And then these two, if you see this pink color recording that you see here, the thumbnail is this pink color one. That is the 4-hour sessions that we have put out here, right? This is like 3 hours, and this is like another 3 hours that we did on April 9th over 2 time bands. This is the one, if you want, you can look through this, but I'm going to unravel that and break it into multiple segments and see if I can bring that to you so that you can actually learn, because 4 hours is too much, too overwhelming. So let me show you where people signed up. Let me find that link. There are 2 places you can go. So you can go to bit.ly/IoTwomen24. If you already signed up for it, then you would automatically start getting emails from us on, here are the recordings. And I'm planning to use people in that list to just get recording about IoT Day that you missed, right? That I'm not interested in talking to you about other things unless you sign up for other things, because I have a lot of other stuff that I offer. So the other thing is you can actually go directly to Business School of AI on Teachable. That is where I put all my courses and my Weekly Ved and all my other recordings in one happy place, which is a lot of content. I'm trying to cater to all my students, whether you took my courses in Stanford or online course on Business School of AI or online courses on LinkedIn Learning, or you've taken any of my courses in one of the workshops that I did, like my meeting with Ferrari, or what am I missing? Oh, the stuff that I do with Spain at Barcelona Technology School or Elisava School of Engineering and Design. I seem to be doing a lot of teaching and curriculum building, but and then I write books and I give talks. So, but what I actually like to do is look at the latest in technology and demystify and bring it to you. That's how I talk, write, teach. But my calling is to teach variety of different people using no code preferably, and to bring you into the fold of AI so that you can contribute to AI to make it inclusive. So my focus on inclusive AI research, inclusive AI as my calling to teach variety of different people. And I like to empower people. So no code, I do with no code because I don't want you to feel limited because you don't know coding. That could be one limitation, right? I work with Global South in AI as a nonprofit. I don't want people to leave Global South languages behind. So like bringing inclusion, and especially with AI, it's so pervasive, it's everywhere. So it needs to work for you. And like I was working with Emmanuel Bianchini today, he's very, very focused on, yes, there is hype on AI. He's taken my AV class too, and he gets excited about newest technologies. I do, but he's very focused on where are we creating value. If it's not creating value for customers, it's not here to stay. For me, I would think, coming from Silicon Valley, there are technologies that get hyped up. They'll create value. Yes, if they create jobs, if they create platforms from which other companies are able to spawn off, that is itself value. So there's one difference. I've been talking to some people about this, about value creation. And if you're thinking of this as a technology company, like all the tech companies that are presenting new ideas and APIs, they create value for their investors. Their focus is to create value for the investors. That's why the stocks get hyped up when they launch something new. Fundamentally, they're creating innovations, but they create fundamental value for companies in an industry segment or enterprise, or its consumer sometimes, only when it is solving a problem, whether it's changing their lives or doing something meaningful. So that's a very different way of thinking about it. So I find that people kind of mix up everything and say AI, people just say, well, how is it creating value? And so it's important to know, especially when I talk to product managers in my courses, I say, are you a product manager in the technology industry, are you building fundamental technology that is going to be used by somebody else to build an application layer? Are you creating a fundamental technology? Maybe, it's creating a consumer application. That's what we do in Silicon Valley. And that's what technology companies do, whether you're in Barcelona or Nigeria, it doesn't matter. Ruth Naduta was one of the people who was talking about measuring impact, because there's a whole growing investment entrepreneurial community that is buzzing in Ghana, where she works in Mandalay, and it's about measuring impact. And that was one of her talk at IoT Women, so don't miss it out. Did I show you the IoT Women site before I close out on the topic? So if you go to bit.ly/IoT Women, that is the homepage for IoT Day. And this is where we had the latest schedule. Thank you, Roxy, for supporting my craziness and being as excited about creating diverse set of women, to showcase diverse set of women to become role models for everybody around the world and bring amazing topics. So you can actually go there. And if you scroll down, what I'm doing is it actually shows our previous recordings of previous recordings, year 2022, 2021, and it goes on, because we've done this, and you can see the speakers and bios and whatnot. And we've done this for 5 years now. So you have like 100+ amazing women, and we try to get new women from newer countries and covering more time zones. So there's a lot of stuff you can learn. And the latest topic is all about AI and Gen AI. So I want to show you one more thing on this topic before I close out. Where is that? When I go to, so let me show you where I'm going. So today I'm in a feed the fish mode. So I'm going to show you stuff instead of just giving you the list. So if you go to my YouTube, so it's youtube.com/@business-school-of-AI. There are playlists. And in here, it shows multiple playlists. And I was showing you the IoT Women playlists. There is one on Weekly Wed. And in there, you will actually see, or if you see the live, whatever happened live also will be there. So we had Yashashwini come in and host.
Yes, it's setting up your meeting.
Okay. I'm just going to go pass this to Yash. Okay. Oh my God, I'm in Santa Clara. It is showing me stuff that it is showing me ads. I'm going to stop that. Sorry. So you're not going to be seeing something that I'm not endorsing officially. Whatever the ad is or whatever it's trying to show me. My recommendation that it is coming up. Okay, so I told you about IoT Day. The other big thing in my world is I have told you guys that I'm working on a generative AI, no-code generative AI course for business people, and all of you came and showed lots of like and love when I was recording at LinkedIn and LinkedIn Learning in LA, and now my course is live. So you might have seen it in the creative for this particular live stream. Those guys don't know they are on air. So here it is. So no, this is my live stream. So I'm going to close out of that. Let me show you that link. Where is it? Let me close the other streams that, like I said, if you go to LinkedIn and look for my name, you will find the course. But what I want to do is I actually shared the course on LinkedIn, right? So I'm taking you there, and I'll tell you why, because this is much more valuable for you. So what I did is on my profile on LinkedIn, I actually shared this course, right? So I said, guys, my latest Gen AI, no-code AI course. So generative AI, it's actually no-code generative AI for business professionals. That's the full name of the course. But here, no-code, generative AI for business professionals. So that's the whole course. So if you click that, you can actually watch this, what this course is about.
Chatting with your customers everywhere. What is stopping you from building this powerful set of artificial intelligence technologies? I'm here to show you that every one of you can build Gen AI with zero coding. Foundation models, fine-tuning, LLM, RAG, so much jargon. In this fun hands-on course, I will demystify all of the jargons for you. I'll teach you an easy 3-step framework that you can use to build Gen AI products. And then together, we'll build an AI assistant, a chatbot, and an intelligent AI agent. I am Sudha. I'm a technology futurist and author of 7 books. I love mentoring business leaders to innovate using no-code AI and can't wait to bring you into this fabulous world of building generative AI.
Okay, so since I shared this and the course just launched yesterday afternoon, little over 24 hours back. So since I shared it, if you click this one, you will get access to this for free. And so you can take this course, you can go through the whole thing. It's about 1 hour, 6 minutes or something. And then you can get a certificate and, add it to your LinkedIn. So I would recommend you do that. Otherwise, if you go to LinkedIn Learning, if you already, your company has it or your university has it or you have access, then you can watch, take this course or many other courses. So I would urge you to go look at this and do your bookmark for now. And then if you can take it, without causing too much delay, you will get this for free. So the other thing I want to do is when you click on this, it is actually going to show you the course, right? I was going through my personal account and it shows the details of the course. So one of the things I noticed is there is a concept called autonomous agent or agent AI. And Google had launched yesterday in the last week, in this week, they had launched something in their Vertex AI called Agent AI Builder, which is done with coding. And I have actually included what is autonomous agent AI and how to build that using no code, using agent GPT. So I think I have done justice, and I'm very sure that the latest, greatest in the Gen AI world that anybody needs to know is covered here. You get the foundation, you understand the models, then I focus on building because I want you to build stuff. I want you to validate your hypothesis. I want you to go hands-on, get comfortable with that. So there's a bunch of demos, bunch of, the LLM does summarization, LLM builds chatbots, what is fine-tuning and RAG, and everything is covered in here. I just would love for you to check it out and talk to me. I'm here to help. So since this is the first time that I'm doing Sudha Live right after the course launch, so you might not know about it. So go check it out. And then in future, if you want me to do a session just on the course as you're going through this or some area as you're doing your exercise, or you're trying to do this, but then you say, okay, now I want this to, I want to go build something else for my company. How do I use that? What does that look like? If you want me to help you with that, I'm happy to talk to you. I always find time for my students. I just find that my time multiplies as when I'm talking to my students. It's actually time stops still and my day multiplies. So it's such a joyful experience talking to you. So when you're asking me for questions and you're thinking of applying what you're learning from me into different places, that I don't lose time. And my day extends, and then I'm like able to go do more things, and you energize me. So thank you for that. The one interesting thing, so I've always been saying in all my courses is, especially with AI, there is so much that is pervasive all around us. So any concept, anything you want to learn, it's there. There's an AI, and you just play with it and try it out. So we've been talking about how LLM has the capability of doing summarization, and then what kind of summarization can we do? And so as I'm talking to you on Zoom has this AI assistant that does summaries, right? And earlier, Amazon in the reviews, lot of review sites, right? E-commerce sites in the reviews did a little summarization of different reviews. And that was, they thought it's value, but it's nice to have, right? For an e-commerce site. And so now they started adding chatbots. So I found that LinkedIn has done a very nice thing of summarization. I'm going to show you a demo of that. So the easiest way to learn anything is to find an AI tool that is doing something that you want to do and then try to play with it. So here I shared my course, right? This is the one you just saw, right? Okay, I'm not going to go through that again. So this it's moved on to the next lessons, and it's going to show that. So done with showing the course. But I shared this on my LinkedIn post. You can pick any LinkedIn course. It doesn't have to be mine. It can be a course. It can be a post that you generate to just test the concept also. But there is a post, somebody sharing something. You know how there are so many posts that comes, and so many threads and so many comments, and then sometimes people don't even think, like I don't like just sharing something out there without checking out who it is, whether that is a person that I trust whether it's just bragging or whether there is real meat within the technology and what they're showing. I look at a lot of things before I would share, because I don't endorse anybody easily and I don't attach myself to any brand, right? But when they're sharing something, it could be many people just share an article and then they just added their own comments. Like LinkedIn encourages you to repost something with your thoughts. So it can be very overwhelming and you don't have the time to go see everything that is shared and read and click through everything. So LinkedIn has added this capability because I said here is my latest Gen AI no code course. Is out on LinkedIn. I've made it free for you all, add some hashtags, and then I said, be sure to tell your friends who will benefit. I'll answer questions at Sudha Live, right? And so if somebody is looking at this and so what is Sudha Live? So they've created some questions and they're giving the answer using LLM. So what is Sudha Live and how can I participate? I didn't do anything. It just finds it on its own. And it says Sudha Live is an event where Sudha Jamte will answer questions, blah, 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 right? And then it says, what are the benefits of Gen AI? Because I'm talking about Gen AI. So then it says this about Gen AI, right? Generative AI offers several benefits for business, including creativity, improving efficiency, whatever. This is its own thing. And then it gives the link back to my course. And then, it is actually building on the next step. It says, what are the powerful impact of no-code AI? Because this is about no-code AI. So no-code AI democratizes AI. And then it gives a couple of my own courses in there. That's beautiful. And it has other things also. And this is powered by Bing Search. So I actually love that. So I think this is a very nice way to experience what is text summarization, query, Q&A with a chatbot. And I think if you do this, suppose, let's say, what are the benefits of Gen AI? You can continue the conversation, right? It is searching, it is finding, it is saying stop answering, and then it continues on. It says, how does Gen AI? And so here it says Gen AI offers several benefits for including creativity, blah, 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 right? So it says, how does it improve decision making? Really? And you can continue conversation. And it does that. And so it is basically integrating the summary and puts it in the chat mode. And it is, I think it is GPT 3.5 or 4.0 powering this. And what ethical concerns that Gen AI have. So they've done a very nice job, and this is not manually created by anybody, but it is a chatbot. So there is some fine tuning and drag and all the stuff that they put in there. So I love it. So if you want to understand what I'm talking about as fine tuning, RAG, and all that world of Gen AI and building it and building chatbots, and here's my course. Okay, so let me get to the opportunities that I talk about. So everything that I share here goes into my newsletter called bit.ly/Jamte newsletter. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer questions, guys, because I shared my course. I shared about IoT women. You should check out the weekly Wednesday. We had Usha Rangaraju come in and talk about AI for autism, which was amazing, mind-blowing stuff. So bit.ly/Jamte newsletter, and it goes to my newsletter and it will tell you the latest jobs and everything else that I share in this world of Sudha Live, right? And it adds the links for that, and then it says events and calls and data sets and reading material, all kinds of stuff that I'm sharing here. So predominantly what I do is I share three things. I share jobs. I share if there's new stuff that is in this world that I'm interested in that I told you about. One other thing I have heard is that Google Cloud Next had this Gemini Can Hear. Was a thing that I heard, but I have not had a chance to check it out. Intel has a new AI chip. I've not had a chance to check it out. That's part of the news. But in terms of jobs, there is a senior manager of research communities from Vanessa Parley from Stanford. There's a software engineering internship at Adobe. If people missed out on the opportunity of getting an internship already, students especially, Adobe has one. Adobe has a very systematic program, and you don't need a referral for it. Anybody can apply. Internships, typically, you don't need a referral. You can apply directly. In fact, if some referral applies, it still goes into the regular pool. For a regular job, you'll need a reference, so get an internship. And then Mozilla has a beautiful grant, $100,000 grant. The deadline is April 17. It is a senior fellowship cohort, and they're basically saying there is so much fake generation that's happening, fake voice, fake image, fake people, clones and stuff. They want a way to figure out how to stop the fake Gen AI stuff and do some research related to that. So that will be wonderful if that is something that is of interest to you. And one of the things I did was I did give a talk. I was in a panel with Professor Ahmad Banafa last Saturday, right after Sudha Live, after we spoke at a local university here in Fremont, and we were talking. It is called Silicon Valley Bay University, SF. BU, and there was this panel put together by some of the entrepreneurial clubs in there, and this was a Gen AI and business impact panel. So I did come across people who are working on things that would qualify for this Mozilla grant. So if you're one of them, definitely check it out. It's a Mozilla grant for $100,000 senior fellowship grant. And then there is 6 summer research positions in AI and mathematical modeling for social good for undergrad students at University of Toronto from Professor Jude King. So follow Professor Jude King and you'll find the details. I'll put all of these links definitely in the newsletter, but I just want you to know. And then I think there is a first international symposium of AI sensors, which is very intriguing. The abstract submission is Monday, I believe. Let me check that. And the event is going to happen in Singapore. So that'll be interesting. And then there is a very interesting new kind of conference called Take Back Tech. Let me look at that. It's bursting with creativity. I don't know these people who are the organizers behind it, but they've done a fantastic job. It's in Chicago. It's called Take Back Tech, June 21 to 23. So if you feel that you are working on a role that is like a creative role, a writer role, or anything that you think that AI is going to replace, even coder's job is now going to be replaced by AI. You can submit a workshop proposal here, and it's called Take Back Tech. It's a nice, good place to come in, have a discussion, and figure out how will you find your role in this, how to make that happen. And then the other thing is, as I was looking at events, we've already shared some events that is coming up into the future. Even June ones I've shared, but April 7th seems to be like this big day bubbling up in front of me. There was one call in Princeton called from Juan Carlos Perdomo. It's called the relative value of prediction. I think I like words, so I like the power of words. The relative value of prediction, because AI is making predictions, and based on the prediction, decisions are being made. And AI is always making prediction, which means it's not 100% correct every time. Even if it is correct for somebody, the next time the next person starts using AI, it's making a new stochastic decision making. And so the value of prediction was very intriguing for me. So that is on the 17th. Around 9:30, 12:30 Eastern time in Princeton. So there's also a Zoom link. There's also a data visualization of Boston, which is from Harvard. This is live, actually. I'm going to show that. At the Museum of Science, Boston's data landscapes visualizing the urban experience. I find that very intriguing. Because what they've done is multiple different groups have come together. Edgeland Institute uses academic research, data, and art to explore how digitization of urban security is changing the urban social contract. And the Master of Arts in Design Engineering MADE program is a partnership between Brown University School of Engineering and Rhode Island School of Design. And then this is of course, Berkman Klein Center of Internet and Society at Harvard is a partner in this. And they've done some research, they've taken this data, they've done like a spring research sprint, and they've collected data and about Boston in various dimensions, and they put this up as a exhibit that you can watch in the Museum of Science all day on the 17th on Wednesday. So if you're local there, I would urge you to find time to go check it out, because I think it's going to be amazing. And then there is a Google developer group, Silicon Valley. This is where I went and spoke at DevFest some months back. Some of you followed up, and this is a whole developer conference. And since Google has announced APIs with Vertex AI, this is for developers. And this is GDG Silicon Valley presence Build with AI 2024 is the name of the event. So that looks interesting. There's a bunch of stuff with data. There's one data plus AI summit from Databricks that's in June 10 to 13 in San Francisco. May 9, there is a Gen AI for lawyers, which I thought was very interesting. This one is like very hands-on from Fordham University. Like it is actually giving tools, Gen AI tools that lawyers are using, how they're going to be using to do various things, what kind of things, they said, oh, lawyer's job can be done by AI or of Gen AI, or HR job can be done, or creative job can be done. So this actually takes lawyers and said, stop, let's see how AI is changing, what kind of tools are out there, what kind of things can it do. It'll train you on those tools. At the same time, you'll get a sense of what is possible. Now, how do you make AI work for you and augment your life and go use it, put it to use? That is the thing. And then I found there's a very interesting course. Like when I was talking about Gen AI, and my course launched on no code generative AI for business professionals on LinkedIn. There's so many dimensions of Gen AI, right? It's like there's so many possibilities. I have people asking me for more Gen AI courses. So I will share them as I get ready for more, because I'm working on these every day. But the one you have on LinkedIn is live. Go check it out. Go try it. It's 1 hour. I want you to work on it. That's building a Gen AI, right? But there is also another one that I came across called it's a course on science and implications of Gen AI. And that is from Shira Gaur Array and from Harvard Kennedy School. And that's a whole series on YouTube. So there's a bunch of free stuff. I tend to not just random share things. There are people who will say, oh, a lot of courses, and here are like hundreds of courses. I've seen that come from LinkedIn Learning. They curate it. They have hundreds of courses. They work very hard, and then they curate it to give it to you is fine. But I see people just put things together, and there might be a bunch of coding courses or mix of it. I don't do that. If you're able to sift through that, you can find what works for you. But I like to pick what I can vouch for, what I've tested. Usually, I find it interesting. It supports variety of different point of views and stuff, right? Like if you're looking at it as a lawyer, if you're looking at it from social implications, if you're looking at it as a business professional or product manager, I just try to get that to that audience and get a specific course. So mine is going to talk to anybody who is a no-code person interested in building AI, or anywhere in the AI building cycle, want to understand generative AI from a building perspective for product managers, business leaders. That's my course. And this one from Harvard Kennedy School is on their YouTube, and this is about the science and implications of generative AI. So it talks about what generative AI can do, but it also gets into the not the how. Mine is always focused on the how do you build it, how do you make it happen. This is like the why and what is it doing, and it's like more foundation stuff. So which I thought was very, very, very intriguing and interesting. So I would recommend it. So let me check one more time whether you have a question for me on LinkedIn. Let me go there. And if you do, I'm happy to answer. And then we can go home, right? I'm going to close these windows because everything I'm sharing here is going to be shared at the Jamthe newsletter. So you don't have to worry about the link. Yes. Oh God, more number of people. My God, guys, what are you doing? I see numbers. Who are you? Why are you watching this? So please at least send me some emojis. I want to actually answer your questions. So before I close out, it's 6:48. So I'm ready to close out, but I have 10 minutes and I see the numbers going up. This is crazy. So what do you want? What are you listening to? Marcelo Torres, thank you. I'm glad you like it. I'm glad you made a comment here. I appreciate it. So is there any question I can ask you, or any question that I can answer? I don't want to ask you questions. I want to answer questions. And I did leave you with what is the difference between a regular AI and Gen AI last time. I did ask that to the the SFBU audience when I was doing the panel. So I had interesting answers. So if you're looking, especially I'm talking to you about my new no-code generative AI course, I want you to understand this in a very intuitive way, right? Let me get you that link. Yes, I will add that link. I can do that. I'll come back. Yes, here, guys. So here is the link that I shared on my new course, no code generative AI course, and this will make the course free for you. So please sign up. So the difference is traditional AI. So the way to think about, if you're in the AI space or you're like, what is this big hype about generative AI? Is it real? Is there hype? There is hype, but is there potential for creating value? Yes, there is. That is why I'm here still making courses on that and teaching that and talking to you about it. I'm still creating Gen AI courses for various different audience, for various different dimensions, varying levels of beginners and intermediate and complex courses. So the way to think about the difference is traditional AI and generative AI are both trained on data, both make predictions, both are based on math, and they create mathematical models. Data scientists build it. It goes through a machine learning life cycle of training, and then what you work with as production version is inference, and then it has capability to learn more. So that's the learning AI. All that is true. But Gen AI creates a interface. When it is interacting with you as a customer, it has a customer touch point. So you get to chat with the chatbot, you get to prompt and say, draw this image, you get to interact with it. There's a human touch point. It's not just the chat, it's a human touch point of interacting, and it reacts to you. So that brings in a whole bunch of designers, HCI that we were talking, that we learned from Helena Nuduto in the beginning. All of that is about the interaction. So how do you design the interaction? That brings the designers to think about this, right? The second thing is in how it runs. So in its training, it's large volume, it's large language models because it's trained on large volume of data. On inference, it is actually doing something more. Inference is where it is generating. So it is not just looking at historic data and giving an answer, but it is generating based on its learning in its brain, and then it brings it to you and brings you the new image. It makes the new code, it makes the new music, it makes the new poetry, it makes the new chat. Each sentence is generated afresh. So that's the power of generative AI, because it extrapolates its learning. Now, in a business perspective, you can actually extend what your company data has, and you can extrapolate it to make it do more. Isn't that amazing? Yeah. Okay. So thank you, everybody, for hanging around with me. Marcelo, thank you so much for your comment. If you have any questions, you can still post it. I'm going to wrap this up. But if you have any questions for me, I'm happy to answer that. And if you have questions you think of later, I'm happy to come back to it. And then if you're taking up my no-code generative AI for business professionals course, I'm happy to do a session, or I'll come back next week at Sudha Live and answer your questions. So with that, I'm going to wrap up. So the newsletter is at bit.ly/Jamte newsletter. Jamte newsletter. Thank you for asking that. Jamte, that's my last name, newsletter. Will have all the links that your everything that you saw here, the jobs, the events, the calls, even the reading material related to everything that I commented on. I'll try and put that together. And thank you, Parya Sarin, because Parya Sarin puts everything together in a newsletter for me. And Parya Sarin was a force, along with Roxy Simpson, to build out IoT Women to help organize that. So thank you, everybody. I love this background. As I'm looking at myself, what is showing behind me is amazing. Thank you, Mahesh Rajan, again, for inviting me to be part of this Ferrari group to talk to them about autonomous vehicle trends. And thank you, Emanuele Bianchini, for coming all the way and adding a whole different dimension of autonomous vehicles and creating value from data, thinking about the AI for existing automakers, race car companies, every OEM tier one, to think about autonomous vehicles as IoT on wheels. And then we all agreed that it's not just the hardware track, it's not just the software track. We need to put all this together that is needed for the car to go to become autonomous. And we also had agreement, and if you know me from before, I've written this book called 2030, The Driverless World. And I still believe by 2030, autonomous vehicles will become mainstream, not replace everything, but it will be mainstream at a level 4 at least. But to get there, we follow the case model of connected, autonomous, shared, and electric. So think of autonomous vehicles as technology that is helping you innovate, helping you create connectivity, helping you create data and digital twins, and then you can create more value for mobility. So that's like a bigger picture than just self-driving cars. So with that, I'm going to wrap up. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging in here and spending your Friday evening here or Saturday morning from wherever else you're joining me. I appreciate it, and I love you. Thanks. Bye. Ciao. With that, I am going to stop the stream. See ya.